Oh my gosh, this is amazing, and I just want to say you are listening to Wrestling with Savage, the best podcast in the history of podcasts. Max Caster, your future AEW champion. Fucking man. Yeah.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, project you live as a champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. Smackdown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. What?
Wrestling with Savage begins now.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Halloween and welcome to Wrestling with Savage. Yes, you've heard it correct. Wrestling with Savage is back at you, and we're coming at you live tonight. And it's going to be a good night of pro wrestling talk. We're going to be talking about Monday Night Raw. We're going to be talking about SmackDown. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things. First, let's say what's up to Jay. What's up, Gilch? How you guys doing? Everybody's having a good night. Did you guys have a good weekend?
Happy Halloween, everybody. Happy Halloween.
Halloween.
Good to see you. King, good to see you.
Yeah, that's about it for my Halloween, guys. This thing's got to come off. Commando Greek's got to come to life. I can't breathe in that fucking thing. Halloween's going to be over in like 27 minutes, so yes. We're taking off that fucking mask. And we're going to be getting right into, let's talk about SmackDown, though. Are you guys having an Usi weekend? Are you keeping it Usi? JR, how about you, man? Let's get right into Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn. What a segment we saw on Friday. And before I give it to you, I want you to also answer me this question. What was the best wrestling show of last week for you?
I'm going to say SmackDown.
SmackDown.
Which is surprising.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I thought SmackDown stole the show last week. Like, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm. So my whole take on it was I felt like it was just going to go into the same old like we always hear from the Bloodline. And when Sammy was actually speaking, I kind of paid attention. And I'm not going to lie, man. That Uzi was so perfect. It made me laugh. It broke everybody's character. And when you can break character on everybody, man, that's gold. I think they got something gold here, Savage and Gilch. They got something amazing with Sami Zayn. Once he's been added into this Bloodline storyline, it's picking up because, let's face it, it was going into a doll. It was becoming flat. And they thought Solo would come and bring it up. And it did kind of bring our attention, but not as much. But then when Sami was in and all the segments we've been seeing the past month, it's just great TV. And I was laughing just like everybody. It was the greatest thing we've seen this past week on the whole wrestling promotion, no matter who you call it. Great.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. When you can break characters like that, like not just character, but characters. He broke the entire faction. He broke Paul Heyman. I mean, Sami Zayn right now is beyond over right now, to the point where they're probably going to cancel any plans they had with him and Kevin Owens because they didn't expect this storyline to take off like this. They didn't expect Sami Zayn to get to the point where he's got these guys so wrapped up emotionally that they can't even maintain composure during a live TV segment. They have to start breaking character and laughing. This is all supposed to be serious business here. We're talking about the Universal Undisputed Champion, all right? Like, it's the top of the echelon. He is the top dog. It's his yard, the tribal chief, all that shit. Acknowledge me, the chief of the table, head of the table, you know. It's supposed to be serious business, and you have Roman Reigns breaking character for them. Like, you don't really see him break character too often lately. I mean, he's usually money, business. So it's a big accomplishment for Sami Zayn, and it shows you like where he's at right now with the fans, and just his career in general is about to take a big turn, I think, because he's connecting with the audience in a big way, you know, and they're gonna probably love anything this guy does from here on out. That's my take on it, though. What do you think, Gilch?
Friday night just like gave me like a reassurance on fucking why I love pro wrestling. I mean, this was great. This was fucking great. I read a good piece about it today, And it was just a great scene to see these guys laugh, and it just reminds you like who these guys are, what they're doing, and they're loving what they're doing. And for me, it's been great. Like you said, Sammy is on another fucking level right now. I messaged it to a cousin of mine. I said, "Listen, you got to watch this clip and this promo." And he goes, "It's fun." He doesn't really watch wrestling anymore. He'll jump in. He'll watch AEW. He's into MJF, but he's not really WWE. He won't watch. And he's like, "Dude," he's like, "That's so weird you told me that because I saw a clip of it on YouTube and I went back and watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
And holy shit, that was fucking unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Fucking hilarious, man. I mean, this was a fantastic bit of business that highlighted everybody's personalities. It played on some genuine hilarity. And, you know, just the facial expressions, the body language, them trying to maintain composure. Paul Heyman even, you know, saying, "And now we go to break in 3, 2, 1. Like, please get us out of this shit. It's over. Please. Let us, you know, we got to get out of here." Overall, on SmackDown, well, she saw Butch and Holland defeated Sikoa and Sami Zayn, which that's a big win for them, right? New Day defeated Maximum Male Models, no surprise there. Ronda Rousey defeated Emma. If you guys want to talk about Emma real quick, I thought she was okay on SmackDown. A little slow to start, but in the end, I thought she still went over looking pretty strong considering Rousey defeated her to win. Hit Row Nakamura defeated Legado del Fantasma, which I'm not a fan of Legado coming to SmackDown and losing already. Even if it's the Shinsuke. I get it. You know, it's Shinsuke Nakamura, and he's going to help, you know, Hit Row get a little over. Cross defeated Moss in what was a pretty good match. You know, it was a close match, I guess, but, you know, Cross in the end just, you know, destroyed Moss, and that was the end of it. Did you guys catch that match? Any thoughts on that match? And or Emma?
I just thought it was a little underwhelming. I think you had the crowd a little excited. Who could this be? And so it was a letdown. I really couldn't get into it just because it was a letdown for me and who it was going to be. I think they overplayed it a little bit, and so for me that's why it kind of fell a little flat, honestly.
Okay, how about you, Jay?
I hated it. And the reason why I hated it is because it was bad booking from the beginning. I mean, it was a spoiler, I guess, at 3 o'clock that day. I knew about it. Everybody knew about it. Horrible right there. And when she came out, it just felt flat. It felt like the same old Emma. I didn't like it. This woman has so much potential to be a champion.
That's sad too, because this is probably like the biggest career in her, the biggest match in her career, in my opinion. Like she's going up against the champ, Ronda Rousey, first match of her return. It's a pretty big deal. I feel like they should have made a bigger deal of it, but they didn't. You know, it was a surprise, and it was a genuine good surprise.
Her job was to basically elevate Rousey, and I don't think she did it because her movesets were really slow and rusty that night. So I don't really think it delivered and helped Ronda. I think what really helped Ronda was Blazer segment in the back. That really helped.
Well, that I would love to get into that segment. That segment was fantastic.
Overall, Savage and Gilch. I mean, Emma has so much potential. We've seen it, and it's just sad that she just got bad booking. It was a spoiler, so the cover wasn't even good. Everything was just bad. It just fell flat from the beginning. I mean, we got to blame whoever, but this was just really, really bad. Really bad booking.
Yeah, absolutely. To me, it wasn't like the worst part of the night. I was just surprised to see her, and I was happy. I think I was more hyped about actually seeing her than the actual match. So that's probably why I was a little more gracious to the match. It gets a thumbs up for me as far as like a surprise, because I didn't see it coming. So I'll give it a thumbs up for that. The match itself, it was okay. It was okay. I wish it would have been a longer, better belt, but we're not going to get that. Bray Wyatt also is on SmackDown. Had some words, but, you know, somebody would come out, Uncle Howdy, on the TV, and they'd tell you he's a liar. You say you don't wear a mask, but we both know that isn't true. You'll never be able to hide from me, your Uncle Howdy. A mysterious masked figure revealed himself, calling out Wyatt's apparent lie. Did you guys have any thoughts on the, you know, Bray Wyatt stuff? I thought it was well timed for Halloween.
Yeah, I like it. I'm enjoying it all. You know, like we said multiple times, we didn't know like how he was going to come back, and you know, it seems like are we all on the same page that we think that even though these might be different guys behind the masks, these are all being played as Bray, like personalities?
I honestly, the way this thing's going and how long, I have no idea how long they're going to drag it out, and there's no absolute clue to who's who, who's what. If Bray's all of them, if his brother's there, his uncle could be there. For Christ's sakes, his father could be there. You know what I'm saying? You don't know where they're going with this shit. His wife could come in it. His father, his uncle, his brother. I mean, this thing goes deep, man. And then don't forget about all the other connections they have. How many people on the roster are connected to the Wyatt family in some way, shape, or form through not like actual work or fandom. So, you know, this thing is fucking wild. It's the most wild thing WWE has ever done. I love the fact that they're taking their time with it. They're not rushing it. They're not saying, oh, he's going to have a match. Who cares? Who cares? I don't even care if he wrestles until WrestleMania. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I enjoy the anticipation. I enjoy anything that instead of giving you answers, it just constantly gives you questions. And you don't know where the fuck they're going with it, man. And then you think you know the answer, and they change the question. Classic wrestling psychology. And it's being brought into next generation level of, transparency. They're trying to make you look for these QR codes to get clues. And it's like an actual, chase. People are chasing information, chasing knowledge. And what are we really getting? All we got right now, we got Bray, and both times he's come out, he's been himself, basically. He's been like Bray Wyatt, like who he is right now, Bray Wyatt. And now we have one character, actually that's talking. We've seen other characters, but they weren't introduced. They didn't have a promo. This is Uncle Howdy, and he's actually talking and telling you that, and he's calling Bray Wyatt a liar. So, like Gilch said, I don't know. Is it Bray Wyatt? Or is it someone else? Jay, what do you think? You think it's somebody else?
I think it's the same hocus pocus I've been seeing from this guy since he started. And I'm not interested, but I gotta say, I personally feel just like everybody out there, the whole rumor world believes that it's Bo Dallas, his brother.
Yeah, because we saw the earring. A lot of people are talking about that earring.
We all see that. And I think it's a great addition. I think it's part of the deal to bring him back. And let's bring my little baby brother back. I would love to see it. If he's Uncle Howie, I think that's great because I've always been a fan of Bo Dallas. I always believe. That shirt is even sitting in my closet as we speak. So it's just the same hocus pocus to me. And you know what? I don't know how long you could drag it. For people to say this guy's a great worker, one of the best workers, are you kidding me? No. I just think he's a brilliant, brilliant talker. He has a creative mind, a genius creative mind that we haven't seen in the past, 20 plus years. It's just the same old. And I don't know if I can really get it back on this one. I don't know. I was kind of disappointed in the whole Fiend, let's just get burned in the middle of the ring.
I appreciated the timing of it, because it's Halloween weekend, whatever. Same time, I was also disappointed tonight because we didn't get any Bray tonight, and it's Halloween. I thought they missed out on an opportunity to do a different, really, maybe possessed kind of episode of Raw. Show some crazy shit.
They try to make us watch a pay-per-view like, hey, watch Crown Jewel. Bray Wyatt's going to be there.
Yeah, let's listen to this.
Well, I just got to respond to that. That is not the reason why I'm going to watch Crown Jewel, because otherwise I have
I agree, but how to advertise it? You know what I'm saying? Like you're advertising it, and you're like, yeah, you want the next clue? You got to watch Crown Jewel.
Yeah, no, it's great advertising, and not only that, but they said Bray's physically going to be there. You know what I mean? So, could you imagine the pop he's going to get there? They're going to go absolutely insane for Bray, and this could be a good opportunity for them to, signify a big, stance in the storyline. Maybe introduce another character, multiple characters. Maybe Uncle Howdy makes his debut. I don't know, but I want to listen to this real quick.
That's the problem, Jay. It's because you're not feeling. It's because you're not feeling Uzi?
It's not because you're feeling Uzi? It's not because you're feeling Uzi? Roman Reigns. That was great. Same thing. He actually acknowledged it tonight, but we're going to get into that later tonight. Right now, let's get into the Monday Halloween Raw. All right? The fireworks going off. Monday Night Raw coming to you live from Dallas, Texas, which is, pretty big state for wrestling. You got legends like Shawn Michaels, the Eric,
Stone Cold,
Steve Austin. The Texas Tornado, obviously one of the Von Erichs, but are you guys hyped at all about this match? Let me ask you a question right now, and don't answer it. Answer it as if you were watching the show at 7:55 and you're waiting for the show to start. Are you excited about Bayley and Bianca Belair Crown Jewel?
No.
Okay. At 7:55 tonight, Gilch, are you excited about this match? Okay, real quick, we're going to keep going. But Raw's going to open up with Nikki Cross. She's going to come out to the ring, and she's going to have a match against Bianca Belair. And, all right, let's get into it. Damage Control came out. Kai and Sky distracted the ref. Bayley came out with the attack on Belair, shoving her into the ring post. Nikki Ash then attacks Bayley, takes out Kai and Sky, and then somehow Bianca ends up hitting her with a KOD. She picks up the win over Nikki Cross. Nikki, however, in my opinion, she looked pretty strong tonight. She made quick work of Damage Control, and the opportunity she did have when she was on the TV, she took advantage of. She looked crazy, she looked strong, she looked like the Nikki Cross of old. The match was okay. I thought it was mediocre. I thought it could have been a little better. Nothing insane for me, man. After that, you have Asuka and Bliss. They decide to come out, which I thought was weird, right? You know, eventually Bianca picks up the win, like I said, but Asuka and Bliss, their timing made no sense. It all seemed like they were just coming out here to hog some of the spotlight from the EST, who obviously did not need, you know, their help to win the match. She won the match without them, without the help. And they probably did that on purpose to make Bianca look strong. Like, I don't need any help to get my dub. What'd you think, Jay? What'd you see tonight? You giving that match a thumbs up?
Excited to answer your first question you said before. I was excited to see this match because we saw Nikki Cross last week make a return into back in her old character, which she's just insane and basically causing havoc on every single woman in the women's roster. So yes, I was happy to see this match. And guess what? The whole thing was a disappointment. It fell in disarray. There was nothing special about this match. I thought Belair was here to put women over. She did not put this woman over. Nikki Cross did not take advantage of this entire match. I did not see nothing good from Nikki Cross in this match. What? She's working on her left knee and hitting her through the barricade? No, it's not going to work for me. And I'm going to say right now, our women's champion could be by far one of the worst sellers. Let's face it. Her left knee, but then she's doing all these moonsaults and shit. Are you fucking kidding me right now? You're supposed to be selling your left knee. That's the point. You're supposed to make Nikki Cross, the return back to her old character, look strong. But instead, you say mediocre. I say she looked like complete shit. Now, I'm losing interest in watching Nikki Cross moving forward because I don't think she came out strong at all. I mean, you make a shocking return last week, and then you come at your first opening match, and you go like complete shit. And what else was complete shit? Let's talk about the bad booking that Asuka and Bliss coming out. All of a sudden, y'all all coming out here to save the day and hit Damage Control, yada, 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 et cetera, that we always see. What the hell? They're just coming out of nowhere, which makes no sense until we're going to talk about later in the main event. No sense to that. So everything was just bad. And I just feel bad for Nikki Cross as she didn't take advantage. And Belair did not deliver to making her look strong. And nobody was pretty much interested.
Gilch, were you interested in Nikki Cross? What'd you see in the match tonight? Anything you liked?
I like that at least almost a superhero is fucking in the garbage pail. And at least we're getting more like the Nikki Cross. Again, you know, man, I don't watch a lot of NXT, but I knew her character with sanity in NXT, so at least see a little bit of that. But I don't know if she's actually like going heel or is she just doing that like crazy face where like I wasn't sure who she was after for a bit there. It just confusing.
I think she's a wild card. You don't know who she's after. She's nuts.
Yeah,
that's her gimmick.
But like the match and everything else, like you said, no, I really didn't have any interest there.
All right, well, we're gonna find out more later in the night because this is not the end of Nikki Cross and definitely not the end of Alexa, Asuka, and Dakota Kai and Io Sky, who are going to be in your main event later tonight, and we're going to get into that. But first, we got to get into this video package that was setting up, hyping up Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, and they're going to have a sit-down interview. It's going to be Brock and Lashley before we go to break. We come back from break, and now we're going to have an interview with Bianca Belair, Alexa, Asuka. They're asking her if things between her and Nikki Ash are over. Bianca says only one of us is walking out. She doesn't even really acknowledge Nikki too much. You know, she pretty much goes right into Bayley, saying that she's going to be the last one walking out that night. They're having a last man standing match. I don't know how I even feel about them having a last man standing match. Gilch, that hair must have been torturing you. Bliss says,
Okay.
we're not waiting for Crown Jewel. We're settling things right now. So Bliss is actually showing a little more of an aggressive side. When I saw this, I was like, this is different. She doesn't have the doll anymore, and she looks business tonight. Interesting. That's going to come into play later tonight. Asuka even had a hard promo saying they're not ready. She went hard. They're not ready for Asuka and Alexa. That was a good sign for me. It looked like Asuka of old, Alexa of old. It's going to come into play later again tonight. We'll find out. Now we're going to have a setup for the commentary team. Shout out to Corey Graves and his wife, who are dealing with some, loss right now. Some heartbreaking stuff. So hopefully they get through it and they come out on the other side much better. And good luck to them, and hopefully nothing but success for both of them in the future, personally and professionally. Yes, Gilch?
Did anyone catch Dakota Kai pick her nose?
That was at the main event, right?
Yes, and it was not just like this. It was like a...
Was it a deep dig?
Like she went at it like 3 times. Like, so something must have been hanging. I was like, oh my lord.
Wow, and they caught that. I don't think I caught it. Maybe I caught it with one of the screenshots and I didn't even notice, but I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
But if you noticed it, it happened, and, maybe, I don't know, is that part of her gimmick now?
Who the fuck knows anymore?
Wow, well, we'll find out. Here we see Bobby Lashley. He's sitting down by himself. Brock Lesnar, with a complete disrespect tonight, decided to just not even show up to this interview. Come straight out to the ring. Gives props to the Texans out there. And, shout out to him for doing that, because the Texans are about to get beat up by JBL in a couple of minutes. But, first let's talk about Brock Lesnar. Comes out looking strong, looking sharp, razor-like. I mean, sharp as nails, Brock Lesnar's coming out. Looking jacked, disrespecting Bobby, basically telling him he can't read. That was fucking good. It's fucked up, but it was fucking good. Because that sounds like something like you would hear on like Monday Night Raw in 1999. You know what I mean? Like some fucked up shot like that. And of course Bobby comes out and a whole team of security has to come out, break this up. This looked like actually one of the more convincible, they do this kind of stuff all the time, right? But we don't ever get shots of Vince McMahon coming out yelling, "Get them out of here! Tell them the match is off! If they don't stop, get them out of here! Get them out!" Triple H came out, he went in, he sold it, just seeing shots of the game there, the pencil. He is the pencil now. He is the guy making all the decisions, erasing names and writing names down. He is the fucking man. And to see him out there with this intensity, intensity that only the game could bring to this kind of position, fantastic. I actually got hyped to see this match. Because of Triple H. Triple H made this shit, just feel more real. I don't know. Jay probably doesn't believe it. Jay, how about you? What did you think of this whole thing? Are you hyped to see Brock and Bobby Lashley at Crown Jewel this Saturday?
No, because it's the same mode that we always see from Brock Lesnar, no matter who he fights, whether it's a AJ Styles, whether it's a Samoa Joe, whether it's a Bobby Lashley, whether it's a Roman Reigns, whether it's a Seth. I can keep going and going and going because it's the same thing we always see. I wasn't hyped. It was cool to see Triple H, but I will say one positive note on the whole horrible segment that I find. I would say shout out to Duke Hudson from NXT. Yes, Duke Hudson was there holding Brock Lesnar tonight.
Did you notice Von Wagner was there too? Von Wagner was there too, and I think I saw Nathan. I think I saw Nathan Frazier as well. Yes. Awesome. NXT guys on their way up, baby. NXT lighting it up, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say it live. I was gonna call Busted Open today, and I was on hold. I almost got on, but I had to hang up and then call again. So I think I lost my place in line. Shout out to Mongrovian and Mike, who did make it on the show today, and he was a complete maniac. My man went in. He did the whole Iron Sheik thing, cursing, calling people sons of bitches. I'll make them fucking tap out like he was going in. So shout out to him and his energy. I didn't get on tonight, but if I did get on, their question was, if Busted Open was a candy bar, what would we be called? Busted Open, if you were a candy bar, you would be called Payday, because that's what you guys just got when you signed a 3-year extension with SiriusXM. So, I call that payday. And also because of payday, I just got paid. And you know what I'm going to do with my paycheck? The same thing you should all do. You're going to go over to their merch store, okay? I believe it's called Pod Swag, and you're going to get the big La Greca head. You're going to get the busted open t-shirt. You're going to get the busted open mug, because I'm going to get all that shit. I'm also going to get the busted open onesie for my son, and we're going to be taking selfies and pictures and videos of us doing the La Greca lean, because I finally found the video of the La Greca lean, and I got bad news for you, Dave. You built this La Greca lean up like it was like the second coming of Jesus Christ, and then I finally saw it, and it's just you falling off of a ring. And yes, I did almost spit my beverage because I was laughing so hard, because that was like the worst attempt at a professional wrestling move I've ever seen. But nonetheless, it's the La Greca lean, and I respect you for doing it. So I'm going to show you my version of the La Greca lean. Besides that, I want to get into pro wrestling real quick, and I want to talk about a memory. You know, Halloween, it is Halloween. All the kids out there, make sure you're careful with your candy tonight. Don't eat too much, because then you might end up having a nightmare like I did when I was a kid during Halloween, and I ate too much candy, and I went home and I fell asleep, and I had a nightmare about Isaac Yankem, DDS, who was destroying me and killing me and ripping all my teeth out, and I was so scared to go to the dentist. So shout out to Kane for playing Isaac Yankem, the only person who can make a dentist look deranged and crazy. Nobody could do it better than Isaac Yankem, Kane, DDS. Also, I want to give a shout out to the Big Boss Man for having one of the most epic moments I've ever seen in professional wrestling history, having a match against The Undertaker, and Undertaker actually hanged him in the middle of the ring. It was one of the most terrifying things you would ever see on television, and people don't talk about it enough. So I want to give a shout out to that. That segment killed it for me as a kid. Loved it. It was just the right moment in the Attitude Era, and, it looked legit. It looked like the Big Boss Man was fucking dead, okay? It's right there after Mick Foley getting thrown off the fucking cage, okay? I mean, it was good shit, Dave. And, my call would have went something like that, Kilch.
Yeah, they Undertaker almost killed Gangrel, too, when they hung Gangrel. I listened to the interview a while back. I listened to it a while back. Someone linked it today, and I remember listening to it. He was like, dude, I was out. I mean, I was, blinking, and he's like, I remember just, waking up and going out and waking up. He's like, I was this close. I didn't realize how fucking tight the noose was.
The only other thing I would have said if I had enough time, which I probably wouldn't have, is I would have mentioned that Seth Rollins is the greatest wrestler in the world. That's it. That's my opinion on it now. I think when it's all said and done 20 years from now, Seth Rollins is probably going to be the greatest of all time. And I want you to all know that, because tonight we're going to get a match with Seth Rollins versus Theory, which, in my opinion, was match of the night, match of the month, and it was beautiful. Beautiful match between two superstars, one in their prime, one in their beginning. And it's just a beautiful thing to see. A beautiful thing to see. And the psychology of that match, which we're going to get into. We see some pictures of the Halloween costumes on Raw tonight. People playing Mick Foley. Shout out to them. Now we see Theory coming to the ring. And Gilch, I'm going to go straight to you before I get into my thoughts on that match. What did you think? Because you're a big Seth Rollins fan, right? Besides me, I know you're a Seth Rollins fan. What did you think of the match?
I thought it was a good match, and as good as Seth looked as usual, I thought this was you couldn't look much better in the loss than Theory looked. He's out there now. His character is his own man. He's not the little sniveling weasel sticking up, trying to get up Vince's ass, and that whole character edge is gone. And like I said, it was just I hate to say it was a really good loss for Theory. I thought he looked good.
Jay, how about you, buddy? You giving this match a thumbs up, man? Is it a big thumbs up for this match? Because I give it 2 thumbs up. I'd give it 3 if I had.
Thumbs up. I wouldn't say a thumbs up, but I would say it was an okay match.
What? Match? What were you watching?
That's right. I was watching Theory versus
There's
Rollins.
No way. Yo, Jay, this match was fire. This match was fire. That whole mouse game they played, cat and mouse.
I had to put my TV on mute for the first 5 minutes to not hear the noise.
It's not annoying.
As soon as I hear it, I make my TV loud, super loud, for the whole house.
Look, guys, I'm going to say this over and over to you guys about Theory. I need to see more from the kid. All I see is just a bunch of selling, and Rollins did look strong, great. But I'm talking about the future here. You guys put this guy on a pedestal saying this guy is this, he's going to be world champion. But I want to see more movesets from the guy. And he has so much when he came in. And if I don't see that, I'm not impressed in this match. So I'm not saying it was a bad match, but it was an okay match. I just want to see more.
How could you want to see more? You got a clean match filled with spots, great moves. You barely saw them call anything. They didn't make any botches. They didn't make any mistakes. Everything looked like it connected hard. I mean, the fact that even Theory went for the pedigree and just how jacked he looked when he was going for it. Seth Rollins with the counter. And then when Theory goes for that crazy neck breaker, you have Seth Rollins countering into the Falcon's arrow. And then the neck breaker, Theory actually hits it a couple of spots later. And Seth took it so fucking well, man. You got Seth with a double suicide dive. The ring psychology, hopping in and out of the ring, playing games, fake kicks, this, that. The build-up was intense. It was as good as a wrestling match that you could see on a Monday Night Raw. Like, I can't see that many matches getting better than that. That match was fucking fire. I can't believe it.
Not for me.
You're crazy, man. I had fun with that match, though. I'm sure a lot of people had fun with that match. And like Gilch said, Theory looked absolutely strong as shit after this match was said and done. He still looked like he was a top dog in the company. He pissed off, Theory. Seth Rollins did. Seth Rollins pissed off Theory, basically saying that, you're not a threat. And that's what they used to give us the reason why we saw this match in the first place. Theory took offense to that, and I thought this was a great way to start a feud that's probably going to last 4 years. These guys are going to be feuding until the day Rollins retires. You guys get that, right? This is not the end of it tonight. We're going to be seeing these guys feuding for the next decade to 2 decades. If they're blessed to have that kind of Randy Orton-like career. Which Rollins already is on his way there, right? He's been doing this a long time. Like Corey Graves said, Rollins has forgotten more about professional wrestling than Theory even knows. Am I wrong? I'm wrong. Jay doesn't. If its name is not Corey Jade, Roxanne Perez, he doesn't give a shit.
No.
They're losers to him.
It's not that. I want to see the guy do more wrestling moves. Excuse me. I don't see it.
Okay. You're entitled to your opinion, but I mean, they had a pretty good match.
What, a pedigree? Didn't we talk about?
He didn't even get the pedigree.
Other
off.
wrestlers move. But still, you don't have to try to do it. Like, come on, man. And don't even get me started on Riddle. We'll get about later on.
What'd you think about Rollins' new look, Gilch?
He could pull off anything. He pull off anything. It doesn't even matter what you want to do with him. Like, tell him you want him to dress up as a chicken and you want him to become like a super face and go over with the crowd. Like, he'll figure a way to do it. It's just.
Did you see that picture of him, Claudio, Miro, and Sheamus?
I did.
That was awesome. Yeah, they blocked out the kids' faces. Of course, that was for Claudio's wedding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. That was a great picture, man. AEW, WWE superstars in the same picture. That Forbidden Door. Here's that screenshot of Theory right there, about to do that pedigree. I love the match. I had so much fun with this match. Now we see Roman Reigns. He's getting out of his limo. Paul Heyman accompanying him. And now let's talk about Mandy Rose. Tomorrow will be 360. Actually, today, right now, Mandy Rose has been your WWE NXT champion for 365 days. And let me say, what a great 365 days it's been. If you could have every day Mandy Rose, I mean, life is good, right? 365 days of Mandy? Can you want more, Gilch?
I don't. I just want to tell you the YouTube screen is off a little bit.
What screen?
The YouTube display, the bottom left, it's like showing our Discord channels for some reason.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. It's alright.
Very weird.
No. Okay, well, anyway, Jay, tell us about fucking Mandy Rose, man. What are we going to see tomorrow on NXT? Who do you think she's taking on next?
Still going to say the storyline is going to go with Alba Fire, probably one of the worst characters we've seen in NXT history. So it's going to that road, and yeah.
When am I getting Braun Breaker up here?
Braun Breaker?
I don't think you want that.
Really?
It will destroy Theory and Rollins in a heartbeat.
That's fine.
Let's
He
see.
could be Stone Cold. Stone Cold will come
You know, I
back.
love New Blood.
Very strange.
He could be Lesnar.
On my screen, it's crazy. This is live technical difficulties. It should go away now, I think. I don't know. I'm watching it too. I don't see the...
technical difficulties?
I guess. It looks like it's technical difficulties. I'm not sure. It's still showing that thing, just like Gilch said. Maybe I gotta refresh this. We're gonna try to figure this out right now, because this is nonsense. But I don't know. We'll get into Mandy Rose later on. She is your champion for 365 days. Tomorrow they're going to celebrate her one-year championship celebration. Also, breaking news on Monday Night Raw tonight. You have Bray Wyatt is going to be at Crown Jewel, they announced. Now Roman Reigns coming out to the ring with Paul Heyman. He's going to get in the ring. Miz is going to come out and basically try to bribe Roman Reigns into, like, I'll scratch your back, you scratch my back kind of like help thing. He wants to... basically do what he can to get on the good side of Roman Reigns. Did you think this was something special, Jay, that's going to lead to something? Is Miz in the main event picture coming up, or no? Is that not going to happen?
The Miz is the Miz, and Miz is called Miz to me. This was great TV. Roman Reigns facials, Paul Heyman facials is great. Everything was so great about the segment. Every line was delivered. What more can you say? It worked. It was perfect when he started talking about the Uzi. He had the crown of the palm of his hand. Then he changed direction. He's like, okay, enough about the Uzi. Let's get into Logan Paul and this one so lucky punch. Shout out to his brother. His brother did win, but I'm not going to give credit for beating a guy that is, 47 years old, one of a legend. But come on, man. You're not a real boxer to me. So, whatever. But back to Logan Paul and Roman Reigns. I'm not excited to see this match. It's not the reason why I'm going to see Crown Jewel. The reason is Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre for me. I'm a Kross fan. So this is where I see it's just perfect TV when you have these two. And what more can you want? It's great.
Nah, it is great. It's absolutely great. Paul Heyman was always good. Roman Reigns is always good. I love the way he knocked out The Miz, just ended it real quick, knocked him out, said, why isn't anybody talking about that? They should be talking about me knocking everybody out, basically. I'm the greatest. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of people questioning me. Like, he went in as the camera was panning out while he was walking in, talking a lot of shit, saying, I run everything. I run this whole damn thing. Which leads me to believe we're going to see something crazy out of Roman Reigns in the future between him and The Rock at WrestleMania. I don't know if you agree with that, Jay. Because I wanted to talk about that. Where are we going with Roman Reigns, storyline-wise? Gilch, how about you? Where do you think this is headed with, after Logan Paul? Who is the main guy that's going to be?
Bray.
Yeah, I think Bray. I think you put Bray in there.
It has to be Bray. It makes sense. I mean, I can't see anybody
You
else.
were watching.
No word on Cody, right? I haven't read anything lately.
Why bring him now? I'll bring him next year in January. Why bring him now? Let the year finish.
Absolutely no road on Cody.
Don't rush it. Don't rush it. You wait on Cody.
Yeah,
He could be the backup to The Rock. So I'll take that as a plan B.
You can't call
Plan A will always be The Rock.
You can't have Braun lose to Roman, right? Like, you can't have him come up and make that be like his first thing and end up losing that feud, right?
It's possible. I mean, anything's possible right now, man. Well, how about Cody? Don't you think Cody's still in the mix at all? He's supposed to come back at Rumble.
I would say he would be a perfect plan B. If The Rock cannot do it because of all his success, especially Black Adam, I would put him as a plan B. And it's the perfect storyline. Perfect storyline. He wants to win it for his pops. Remember?
Absolutely. But there's a lot of different storylines. I mean, I could definitely see them going with The Rock.
Who's winning the Rumble?
That's the crazy question. I mean, if it's going to be
I'm going to say Cody.
Cody. It's got to be Cody.
I say Cody. It's got to be Cody.
Yeah, I think it's Cody too. But if you say Bray's gonna fight him, let's say The Rock doesn't fight him, then don't you think Bray's got to win the Rumble?
Let me. I have another question. Triple H says all the right things, especially in that interview where someone mentioned Punk to him, and he said he would never not answer someone's phone call. Right? He's obviously, I guess he's okay with Cody right now, but. Do we really know that? I mean, because there's some deep-rooted family hatred there. Would Triple H ever let this guy be the guy? Hold that? Is that I don't know.
No,
think
these
it's-
are all
I say
legitimate
yeah.
questions, but I mean, I don't think we really have a fucking idea what's gonna really happen with Triple H and all these guys. I mean, who fucking knows? I mean, this shit's so crazy right now. To me, this is the most unpredictable time because there's so many new guys coming in that they're pushing. They're pushing Cross. They're pushing this guy. They're pushing that guy. They're pushing, Gunther. What's going to happen with everybody? Who's going to do what? Braun Breaker, is he going to come in and take over this year, next year? I don't know. I feel like it has to be Cody.
Has to be, but all those superstars that you mentioned, they would sure win after. It's just that the only person that makes sense is Cody. But I'm with you on that plan A. I think The Rock should be plan A and Cody should be a plan B.
100% Rock needs to be
But-
plan A, man.
If it's
Yes,
The Rock,
it does.
if it's The Rock, you're gonna have him lose the title before WrestleMania.
No.
My,
Not before.
nah.
Make it a non-title match.
Maybe a non-title. Oh, come on. You know that's going to make some merch sales. It's going to sell out WrestleMania in Hollywood, especially. Forget about it. That's going to
Make
be
it
the
a
money
title
right there.
match. Let the
More
Rock,
money than
let the
Stone
Rock, let the Rock win, and then when it's over, he just places the belts in the middle of the ring.
This will be a bigger attraction than Stone Cold coming back. And we all love Stone Cold coming back. This will be bigger than that.
It's possible.
Yeah, it can't really get that much bigger than the Stone Cold thing, but I think it's gonna be the top of that level for sure.
Because
It's gonna make beyond money. I mean, it's Rock Roman. They're gonna sell out the whole fucking venue wherever they go, and it's gonna be just absolutely bonkers. Media's gonna pick up on it. They're gonna be talking about it nonstop. It's never gonna change. There we go. I think we got the problem solved. I mean, I guess I just had to. Jesus Christ!
You're the man.
It only took
I
like
acknowledge
47 minutes, man.
I hate interrupting like mid-show to tell you that, but you were mentioning like, oh, here's a screenshot of that. And I'm looking
Yeah.
at the screen.
Well, now we're back with a screenshot. So there you can see Uncle Howdy's face because they're going to go into Uncle Howdy right after this whole Roman Reigns thing again, reminding us that, Uncle Howdy's going to be a crown jewel. What did he also say, Roman Reigns? By the way, there was Usi chants tonight. Did you guys catch all the Usi chants? There was a lot of Usi chants. So that shit is catching on. The Usi t-shirts, I'm sure, are coming.
Yep, they're there already. I saw them already.
Yeah. You will see an Usi right-hand man in Jey Uso, basically saying Jay is going to get in line. And he says he's not going to hype up a match with an outsider like Logan Paul. The tribal chief won't do that, but the wise man will. And then, like I said, Miz comes out, babbling. He gets knocked out, and Roman just going off. He said he's tired of being humble, and he's head and shoulders above everyone else. He is the best. He runs it all. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Now we get an interview with The Miz, who has ice on his face. And then he's informed that Johnny has a tell-all interview later tonight, and if he goes on with this interview, The Miz is going to sue WWE. The Miz is going to sue WWE. I feel bad for The Miz. He has to compete tonight with a broken freaking jaw. Just like Kurt Angle. To me, The Miz is a true hero. He's a true American hero, an A-lister, a celebrity, and he's going to compete tonight against Mustafa Ali with a broken jaw. And then, of course, we have all this craziness about Johnny Gargano bad-mouthing The Miz and saying that he has the dirt on him when we know that Johnny Gargano is nothing but a liar. Johnny Gargano is a liar. He's a liar, and I'm going to prove it later tonight right here on Wrestling with Savage. But when we get back, we're going to get into a match that I wasn't expecting right here on Wrestling with Savage.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I podcast in the history of podcasts.
You are watching Wrestling with Savage! But of course,
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, proud to you live as a champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. Smackdown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. What?
I'm trying to give these two WWE legends. And we're back, Wrestling with Savage. Jay's here with me. We're talking WWE, we're talking Raw, we're talking SmackDown, Uncle Howdy. And we're just talking overall. What's going to happen? What's going to happen with Roman Reigns? Is Roman Reigns going to be the man
welcome back.
come WrestleMania, or is The Rock? I mean, how do they even? And here's my question: does The Rock beat Roman Reigns? What do you think, Gilch? Does The Rock beat Roman Reigns, or does Roman Reigns beat The Rock?
I think The Rock wins round 1.
Interesting. Interesting. They're going to stretch it out like a kind of Cena Rock thing.
Cena Rock.
So we're going to
WrestleMania.
Once in a lifetime means 3 times, basically.
They're going to milk it to death.
Absolutely. Okay, I can agree with that.
Hey, you don't think so?
It's a big possibility.
Listen, I know you guys are a fan of Black Adam, but that movie was trash, and this storyline where you guys saying a round 1, round 2 is trash as well. Let's face it, this is a one and done money-making match. Just like Floyd Mayweather and McGregor, right? This is all on the marbles and whatnot to put over their cousin, put him over. It makes the perfect sense to make Roman Reigns look strong and greatest of all time.
It's not a bad point. It's not a bad point at all.
He's 50 years old, Dwayne Johnson. Great, legend, but 50. Come on, man. You can't expect him to go at the ring next year.
Yeah, I don't. Tonight we're going to see the Judgment Day. They're going to come out and they're going to have a match. It's going to be Damian Priest versus Carl Anderson. And I got to say, out of this entire match, I'm looking at everybody in the ring. And this is including Finn Balor and AJ Styles. And do you want to know who the biggest superstar in this whole segment is?
Rhea Ripley.
It's Rhea Ripley. 100%. It's Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is the biggest superstar in the Judgment Day. She's going to end up having the greatest run out of everyone in this ring, including Finn and AJ and Dom. She's going to go off. It's not going to happen this year because this year is all about turning her into a household name superstar. And they're going to do that by attaching her to Judgment Day. She's going to have this crazy storyline with Dom that's probably going to go on into some kind of love story. And it's going to be hot for a while. It's going to last for a while. And then next year, I feel like I'm calling it right now. Rhea Ripley wins the Royal Rumble next year. And then from there, she becomes like the new face of the women's division, like permanently, until she retires.
I'd be most okay with that. That's for sure.
The question is, who does she take on at that WrestleMania? Is it Charlotte Flair? Does she just dethrone a 15-time champion? Why, Belair? So Belair can go like this to her 32 times on when to do a spot?
Yeah, I think Belair now. Take Belair down. Belair right now is I'm sorry when anyone says. Yeah, I know what you're saying, George, but she's so over.
Yeah,
fans.
You're right.
And her size, how she looks, her athleticism. There's issues there, of course, but she right now to me is at the top of the game right now.
She has to because she's selling fucking merch. She's putting butts in seats. Kids, yeah. And who was number 3? Thunder Rosa? Who was number 1?
Thunder Rosa. Someone from Japan. I think it starts with an S. Sariu, something.
Has she been on AEW Dark or something? That one?
No, it's Japan.
Oh, man. But, yeah, Rhea Ripley looked great in this. Carl Anderson actually looked pretty good tonight. He's with Luke Gallows, AJ Styles versus Damian Priest for the Judgment Day. Great match overall. I had fun with it. Carl Anderson actually gets the win with a clean finish, which was really shocking. I was shocked, actually, to see him beat Damian Priest with a roll-up clean in the middle of the ring. And then, of course, they beat the shit out of him. Big fight breaks out. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Dom ends up looking like a stud at the end of the night, not even having to say a word. Does the little Eddie shake and does the nice frog splash to, put the end of the segment. What'd you see in this, Gilch? Did you like the match? Were you surprised that Carl Anderson got the win?
A little bit.
A little bit?
It was all right.
Okay.
I just like it.
A lot of girls dressing up like Rhea Ripley for Halloween, it looks like. They had to show that body slam again, Jay, from last week. That iconic Rhea Ripley moment. How about you, Jay? What'd you see in the match with Carl Anderson and Damian Priest? I thought Damian was also impressive tonight. I like that shout out he did to Razor coming out at the beginning of the match. First giving a shot up to heaven. That was nice.
So, Carl Anderson is a mix of controversy right now with his whole never open weight championship that he can't defend in Japan. And I feel like Corey Graves took a little shot at him in commentary when he's like, well, Anderson is not in the best of moods. I thought that was a shot right there because he really wanted to defend the belt. Luckily, he's not getting stripped of that belt, so they're not stripping him. So that's a good news right there. So Nakamura broke the forbidden door. This could be number 2 right here. I hope so. I like the booking. I always like Carl Anderson. I don't know about you guys, but I was always a fan from Japan. We've seen Gunn Anderson when he was a solo run. I always liked him. I liked this match. I thought it was okay. It wasn't great. It could have been a better finish, but I'll take it. And you know what? It's both guys that I'm fans of. They're both great workers, and I'm glad that he's getting his shine. And I think he's just getting his shine because they're trying to accommodate Anderson on his whole being, he's not in the best of moods, just like Graves said.
Yeah.
I would be too.
Damian Priest is a great worker, though. I love Damian Priest. I love watching him work. I actually saw a match the other night on YouTube. I don't know if you guys even know that him and Wardlow had a few matches. Did you ever see that? So I have it. It's on YouTube. It's pretty badass. It's a young Wardlow versus young Damian Priest. And they're going at it, man. They're
Damian
stiff,
or
very
Punishment,
stiff.
Punishment
I
Martinez?
think he was under Punishment Martinez at the time, man.
No, that was great, man.
And Wardlow was the champion and Damian wasn't. But it was just funny to see like this AEW superstar fighting this WWE guy because that's we don't really get to see that too often. The only time we saw that so far has been with Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, right? That's the first AEW guy they've ever hired. Am I wrong on that? If they bring back another AEW guy that I don't know of?
I'm thinking of producers, if anything, because I know they brought some producers back, but I don't think from AEW, no.
All right. Does anybody give a shit about the segment between Omos and MVP?
No.
MVP's good, though. MVP's good. I like MVP.
Yeah,
JBL comes to the ring. This is JBL, Baron Corbin. They're going to be coming up next. JBL goes off about the greatness of Texas. Talks about Von Erich, Stone Cold, and says that Texas was great until all the snowflakes came along and ruined it. They turned Texas into an embarrassment. Today is your day. It's Halloween, where you teach your kids to go door to door and beg for food. You're a lazy generation, and, we don't need this from a Texas legend. I want to tell you that, you shouldn't even be allowed to call yourselves Texans. You disgust me. Despite all that, I'm still going to introduce greatness to this state. The man who will save your business. Get up on your snowflake chubby feet for Baron Corbin. Corbin comes out, says you're welcome, that you're in the presence of a modern-day wrestling god, and he says everybody's right, that he does have it all, and, all of you have very, very little. And he wanted to come out here and say thank you. We all know the truth. And here comes the truth. Literally. R-Truth now comes to the ring. Poor R-Truth, though, tonight he got his ass kicked, right? Got hit with the end of the days, and that was the end of his day. Gilch, what'd you see tonight? JBL's promo, Corbin.
I like the idea, what they were trying to do with this, but it's not hitting for me. I see they're not meshing well. I see no chemistry between the two of them. I don't know if it's the fact that I'm not happy about how they brought Corbin back. Maybe not calling him Happy Corbin, but with the Titantron's the same. The whole, I was hoping they brought back more of a lone wolfish character. But this is just not, I don't know if it's just me, but it's not hitting me at all.
I think Corbin tonight, he looked like an extra out of that movie Snatch with Brad Pitt, where he was the gypsy boxer. Remember that movie? Yeah, that movie was lit. If you've never seen it, Gilch, you gotta watch it. You'll love that movie. You ever seen that movie, Snatch?
Oh, Snatch, yeah.
Brad Pitt, the gypsy boxer. These guys, Corbin looks like he's an extra in that movie or something tonight. I don't know. Weird. How about you, Jay? Are you happy with Corbin? At least Corbin's gonna be winning, right?
Look, I'm going to say this to carry on with Gilch. I couldn't agree more, but I'm just going to carry on from what he's saying. Listen, when you don't commit 100% to a character change, it's just not going to work. And Gilch hit it right on the money, the attire, the whole background. Now, I don't mind the money, but I don't need to see Happy Corbin on the screen. I want to see Baron Corbin. That's what I want to see. I would love to see him in the whole suit and everything, but there's no chemistry there. You could see it. And the whole modern day of wrestling and that whole speech he was giving just felt flat. it just wasn't unique, and it wasn't him, and he wasn't selling it to me, and that's his job, and I wasn't buying it.
Just to touch real quickly on what you said about the character, like in Triple H's WWE right now, where it's about wrestling, this was the perfect chance to repackage a guy like Baron Corbin, who's phenomenal in the ring, is beloved in the locker room, and make it the way like they're repackaging KO as like, you know, back to like just fight, like something like that with Corbin, like, you know, just wrestle, like, you know.
I think Corbin's got all the potential in the world, and I didn't think he really needed JBL to get heat. You know, that's why the combination doesn't make sense to me. Corbin's a guy that can get heat by himself. I love the combination because I love JBL and I love Corbin, but in logical terms, it doesn't make sense because Corbin can get fucking heat by himself. Why does he need JBL to get additional heat?
Right, and JBL is doing such a good job with getting the heat that
he's getting
that this is the pairing, because you could have used him to get someone else who needs this heat off and can't really do it their own on the mic.
Exactly. You're trying to get people over that are getting cheered on. That's when you bring JBL in to really add that extra level of heat. You know, I can't think of a good superstar right now that you could, you know, attach him with. You know, unless you're trying to turn Bobby Lashley heel, you get JBL to represent him. That would be automatic, like Bobby would be healed the same night. If you're trying to do something like that. But for Corbin, he's already a heel.
Like, is it me, or I just felt like Lashley was turning heel?
It's possible.
Just from watching this episode.
He was talking hella shit about Brock tonight, basically saying that, you know, Brock's a fraud. Brock, you know, he's going to expose him. He says he's been exposing him for 20 years, and Crown Jewel's going to expose him again.
The issue with Brock is you can't book him as a heel anymore, because no matter what year no matter where he goes, he gets a huge pop every fucking time.
He's a walking wrestling god. Baron Corbin's out here calling himself a wrestling god. Let's be honest. Brock Lesnar is a walking actual wrestling god who can go toe-to-toe with almost any human being on this planet. Let's be honest. That's who Brock Lesnar is. And he'll probably win against almost any human being that's walking and breathing the face of the earth right now. In Mortal Kombat, Brock Lesnar might be God. I don't think Bobby Lashley could beat up Brock in a real fight. I'm being honest. I just don't see it. Bobby's too much of a nice guy. Brock has that killer side. Brock has that, like, when he gets pissed off, he takes it to another level. Scary guy. Though, you know who could probably beat up Brock Lesnar? Maybe. And not even now. I think he's too old now, but I think Mark Henry could have gave Brock Lesnar a serious fucking run for his fucking... Mark Henry's a monster. Mark Henry's a monster. I mean, this guy could probably knock out a grizzly bear if he wanted to. He's a strong dude. Maybe Big Show, too. Big motherfucker, too. I mean, I've seen Paul White. You seen that video of him breaking that guy's jaw with one punch? They just wrecked that guy's shit. I think it was a fan, right? It's fucking crazy, man. All right, Baron Corbin. Do we see Baron Corbin having gold by next year?
Not if you don't completely repackage the character. Get started now.
Maybe I got an idea. What if they're trying to turn Baron Corbin face? So you build up the heat with JBL, and then Corbin turns on JBL, and then maybe becomes a babyface. Do you see that being a possibility, maybe?
Possible.
Maybe they're trying to find a way to turn Corbin into someone people like. Because unfortunately, Baron Corbin gets a bad rep. Every time I talk to people, the average people hate Baron Corbin, and they say they change the channel when he comes on. Which is fucked up. I think they're missing out.
Not if they're watching Happy Corbin.
Tonight, Happy Corbin wasn't having any R-Truth's bullshit. He just fucking ended his day. Real fucking quick. I like that. Because we've seen enough R-Truth last week. You know, I kind of feel bad for R-Truth that he's back as this character. But, you know, it is what it is. What I mean, I don't book the matches. Next, we're going to get another match that I wouldn't have booked either. All right? You're going to get Elias and Ezekiel. Oh, I'm sorry. Not Ezekiel. Matt Riddle. Elias and Matt Riddle versus Chad Gable and Otis in the Trick or Street fight. That's going to be coming up momentarily. Johnny Gargano's tell-all interview is going to be coming up momentarily. And then here we're going to get back into Nikki Cross. We see the screenshot. Nikki Cross is now talking with Damage Control. Anybody have a take on this?
Not personally.
No.
We all feel the same about Damage Control.
All right. Did anybody else get a good fucking laugh out of watching Matt Riddle come out dressed as Ezekiel? And if you notice, he made Elias break character all night tonight. Like, Elias couldn't keep his shit together because it looks like Matt Riddle's wearing a fucking diaper. I don't even know what the fuck he's wearing. Some overstuffed trunks, and he's got the tassels on. I mean, he's going all out, man. But what I didn't appreciate about any of this was that this didn't let Elias have an entrance. And whenever you rob us of an entrance of Elias, I feel like you're doing injustice to the people that paid for a ticket. But I digress. We're going to get into this trick or street match. Elias, Ezekiel. I'm going to call him Ezekiel for this match. What about the opening, though, guys? What did you think about the... and I hope you guys know where this is from. This is from Saturday Night Live. Chris Farley, Patrick Swayze. They did a famous skit for Chip and Dale's Dirty Dancing. And I feel like Chad Gable and Otis tonight. And I don't know why Chad Gable was wearing a white wig. He should have had a brown, wig on or something. Because, Patrick Swayze didn't have gray hair in this segment. But this was spot on, man. These guys fucking killed it. I was laughing my ass off watching Otis dance. Both of them dancing their way to the ring. I thought they killed it. This was the funniest part of Monday Night Raw to me. Gilch, what'd you think? And the match. Tell me, thumbs up. Did you like the match?
It was solid.
Okay. He's keeping it short and sweet. Jay, how about you? Did you like the match?
Was it a match? It was just, entertainment or whatnot. It wasn't really a match. So.
This was definitely the pure entertainment segment of the night, like without a doubt. I mean, this was a good time. If you're a fan of Otis and Gable, these guys are phenomenal workers. And this just proves it again. They're being handed the nonsense that Jon Moxley walked out of WWE for. He didn't want any more part of the nonsense, and it feels like WWE is pretty much rid of all the nonsense. But there's still got to be a little bit. There has to be. The show has to have some humor. This is the humor segment of the night. And it absolutely fucking rocked. We lost Jay. Jay, are you there?
No, I'm here. This
Camera's gone?
Video feed. Yeah.
So
I'm still here. It was entertainment, though.
I liked it. I appreciated it. Gable's in phenomenal shape. Otis is in the best shape of his life. Without a doubt.
I like the worm, though. The worm was awesome.
The worm, yeah. There's screenshots of the worm right there. A big elbow drop from Elias. That's a nice screenshot. Big elbow drop from, Otis right there. But, of course, Elias and Riddle would pick up the win because Elias would pretty much put a pumpkin on Otis's head after Riddle's beating the shit out of him. And, I don't know. I didn't like the pumpkin.
Because the pumpkin
fell off,
so
yeah.
The RKO, it was just basically...
It looked really good, though, up until when he did the move. It looked fantastic. But I guess it was as good as it could get. And you got to imagine, Otis probably couldn't see a fucking thing. I mean...
No, he couldn't. I think he was, stumbling on his own feet.
Because you could see Elias...
You're right. It could have been a great spot.
Elias was directing him, trying to help him get to, the right spot.
Yeah,
if you saw.
Right.
And it could have been, a phenomenal spot. I think Otis messed up by not using one hand to hold the pumpkin in place. You know what I mean? Otis should have...
more fake.
Maybe not. No, maybe he doesn't... He doesn't know what's going on, or maybe he's trying to grab the pumpkin, but he can't because this guy's grabbing on it. So then all of a sudden, because it came off instantly. It came off instantly. If you would have kept that visual of him hitting the RKO with that pumpkin on, my God, that would have been a great spot for Halloween. They could have been using that for Halloween replays for the next 20 years.
Yeah, that's true. You would have had a point.
Jay, what happened? Are you coming back? Are you done?
Just a little video issue here.
How do you have a video issue on your phone? The technical difficulties on Halloween are I think we're cursed tonight. It's probably because I watched. Gilch, it's probably all right. Let's go into a little Halloween talk. Let's go into a little Halloween talk before Jay gets back. Gilch, what's your favorite horror movie of all time?
Ooh.
We can go off the rails a little bit tonight.
It is Halloween.
It is Halloween, yeah.
I'm a Freddy guy, so.
Okay, so Nightmare on Elm Street is your number one
I
go-to?
think it was like 2 or 3 came out like when I was old enough to remember it, I think. Something
Okay.
like that.
Definitely one of the greatest horror franchises in movie cinema history. I love.
I will say,
everyone.
I do, when you talk about like new age horror, like people like shit on this movie, but I love the movie Hostel.
Fantastic movie. I mean, it's actually kind
That
of
is true.
it's actually kind of creepy, to be honest with you. If you want to be honest, that's one of the
Seems pretty
creepier
fucking
movies.
True, actually.
Well, that's why it's so fucking creepy, because, you know, you want to go on all these vacations, but then you see that shit and you're like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to go anywhere tropical. Anywhere, ever. Because you don't know.
Wait,
you really don't know.
There's a lot of Freddy. Which one?
A lot of what?
Which Freddy you said which is the best one? Wow, the horror
It has to
movie,
be the
right?
original to me. Jay, let me know when your video's
Oh,
back,
number
because
one?
I got something covering it up for
I
now.
forget if it's 2 or 2. I think it might have been 2. I'm trying to remember.
2 was fire. 2 was the one where he was like completely, he possessed the guy. The star of the movie. He possessed the guy and the guy was murdering all his friends. 2 felt more like an exorcism kind of story, like a possession, you know, because in the first one, Freddy was, you know, fucking with everybody. He didn't target anyone specifically or use anybody as a vessel the whole movie. 2 was more about like him absolutely destroying this one particular guy's life by using him to become a murderer and, you know, basically lose his mind. Because he didn't even know what the fuck was going on. You know, he's sleeping and he's walking around murdering motherfuckers and doesn't even know it. It's a crazy concept. Part 3 is when it started getting a little corny, if you want to be honest, with the Dreamwalkers and all that. It was okay. It was still a good time. And then 5 and 6 were just, you know, especially the one with Roseanne. I'm sure you remember. It was terrible. Then you had Freddy in 3D. That was terrible. Part 1 was absolutely classic. I mean, but my favorite horror film of all time is still The Exorcist. That, you know, if you believe in God and you believe in the devil, Exorcist is one of the harder movies to watch.
I'm a huge paranormal fan, so
Okay.
yeah, I can agree with you there. Yep.
How about you, Jay? It's up there for you, top horror movie of all time. You can name a couple, too, if you can't limit it to one.
I'm with you on The Exorcist, man. I think it's the number one.
Yeah, Exorcist to me is, you know, I got introduced to The Exorcist because, you know, my mom used it as a tool for me to do better in school. She actually let me watch the TV. She actually let me watch the TV version of it, which was like PG whatever, you know. So there was no cursing. There was no like, fuck this, fuck that, yeah. So it was a little more toned down. But the basic storyline was there. And she said, if you don't do good in school, that's what's going to happen to you. You're going to get possessed by the devil. And you're going to, I was terrified. I was terrified. I did so good in school. I started getting hundreds on every test. Everything, studying, it was crazy, you know. And I don't even know how old I was, maybe 7 or 8, man. Pretty brutal that I had to deal with that. Did you guys have any relatives that would scare you when you were little kids about like let's say using Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees? Michael Myers is gonna get you. No crazy people. I used to have an uncle. He would fucking turn off all the power in the house and then lock all the doors and start. He'd be in the basement like slamming the ceiling with a stick all over the place, and you know, come upstairs and just pretend like, you know. He's like, "Did you see Freddy?" I didn't know what the fuck was going on, man. I used to be afraid to go to the bathroom at night because I thought Freddy Krueger was in there and he was gonna fucking murder me. Okay, these are not good movies for little kids to watch. Gilch, you have a relatively young kid. What's the scariest movie they've ever seen?
I don't know. It's got to be like something like, it's still going to be a Disney movie.
Okay, there you go.
Or
So-
maybe like you know, like the Lion King, like when, you know, for the kid first when they see like.
How old
like
is she?
Eye.
How old is she before you let her watch The Exorcist?
Oh man, like 15.
15? Okay, 15's a fair age. 15's a fair age. All right, let's get back into Raw a little bit. We got to talk a little Halloween, obviously, you know, some horror movies. Shout out to Chad Gable. Shout out to Riddle for making Elias break tonight, because last week it looked like Elias hated Riddle, wanted to beat the shit out of him. This week, Elias and Riddle look like they're best fucking friends. He's out there smiling, having a good time, giving the kid a shout out, lifting his hand up, the whole nine. They get the dub. Now we get the screenshot, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and Bailey. You know, they're talking about their game plan, and Bailey's convincing these girls that come Saturday, we're all going to be walking out champions, and this and that and the other, which is going to be a fucking lie, right? But we'll find out later. Miz going to come out, and real quick, SmackDown recap. SmackDown's coming up this Friday. Do you guys want to hear spoilers or no spoilers? I mean, you know what? There's no point. We know what's going to happen. There's no reason to even tell anybody. All right, Rey Mysterio, Gunther are going to have a match. And apparently Bray Wyatt's going to be there as well on SmackDown. Big shout out to Big E. He's going to be introducing the NASCAR Championship Weekend live this Sunday at 1:30 p.m. on NASCAR TV, I believe. So it's good to see Big E out there in the world doing things, making money. Do your thing, Big E, and hopefully maybe we see you in the ring, or I wouldn't mind him being a manager. I think he'd be, you know, phenomenal if he wanted to. He could do anything. Commentator. We'll see. Hopefully his ring career is not over. I hope it's not. Now we're going to get Miz versus Mustafa Ali. Again, I got to give shout out to The Miz. The Miz is an absolute hero to be able to compete in this match after taking a shot like that from the Tribal Chief. You know, you take a shot like that from the Tribal Chief, you should get the night off. But instead, here's The Miz, and he's having a match against Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali's going to end up getting the win because Dexter Lumis would come out, grab The Miz, scare him. This would set up Ali to get a super kick off that actually looked really, really good. And he'd pick up the win. I also like the DDT Miz gave him. Nice way to lean into that DDT, and Ali sold it really well. Dexter Lumis coming out again, you know, running away from security. That super kick was beautiful. And then Ali hits him with a 450 splash. Ali picks up the win. Big win. Arguably the biggest win of his career, no?
Yeah.
I don't remember him going over on a guy Miz's level, ever.
No, for sure. I mean, listen, I like him in the ring. We all like him in the ring, but I mean, they're just trying to shove the same character. It's just bland. It's just boring. The crowd is just like has very little. Maybe the end of the match a little bit, but like when he came out, like there was no pop at all. So I mean, I like him. I want to see more of him in the ring, but they got to do something with this character because it's nothing here.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I don't know where they're really going with it. All right, Jay is back. We're bringing Jay back to life for you. There he is.
Be alive for this one. Oh, I can't wait for this one.
We're back though.
All right, guys.
I don't know. Sure.
I'm gonna say this. You know, Miz is good Miz. We always love the Miz, but let's face it, they're shoving Ali down our throats, and it's not working. Glitch called it, and he said, hey, you know, nobody's really standing up, nobody's really popping. It's true, man. And you know what? The segments in the back is not doing it for me. He even had to say, not only in the back segment, but in the match, he had to say, you got a tiny ball. He's just using what people have used in the past. And I'm really starting to hate the Miz come out every time somebody says balls to him. He always has to come out with that stupid, ridiculous shirt. Like, come on, man. Really? Like, now we're going to plug the shirt. But let's face it, Ali is not unique. He's just taking ideas that are already done, and I don't know why they keep pushing it.
I mean, I just thought Miz was all over the place tonight. He was on Raw a lot tonight. He had a lot of TV time, so that to me is a sign of, like, wow. They're going to him with they're trusting him with a lot of stuff. He's in the ring with a champion. He's got a whole storyline going on with Dexter Lumis. He's got a whole storyline going on with Mustafa Ali. He's got a whole storyline going on with Johnny Gargano. He's got a whole storyline going on with Ciampa. I mean, who's got a bigger olive branch right now than the fucking Miz? The Miz is involved in so many different people's careers.
The Miz is great, but he's not in great at one thing. He's been over 10 plus years over there. The Miz is great, but not in one thing. Not getting Ali over. Can't do it.
I don't think anybody can get him over, man.
I don't think.
Back from break, we get the SmackDown preview, which we talked about already. Now we're gonna get the Johnny Tells All segment, and pretty much Johnny had a phone call. I don't think it was a phone call. He said he had footage. He said he recorded a conversation between Dexter Lumis and The Miz. He never showed footage. We just heard audio. And audio can be easily manipulated, easily edited. So I don't know if I really believe Johnny Gargano. I don't think The Miz would stoop this low. Maybe he would. But apparently Johnny Gargano was claiming that The Miz paid Dexter Lumis to do all these horrible things. And now basically Miz owes Dexter Lumis a lot of money. And now Dexter Lumis is actually really fucking with him for like the last couple of weeks. Because Miz hasn't paid him. And now Miz has to pay. I did like how Johnny Gargano went into Dexter Lumis and his history and his work on NXT and the marriage and all that, and that I had to accept him as a son-in-law kind of character. And then they did the reenactment where you see Johnny Gargano wearing a wig, Johnny Gargano's playing Dexter Lumis. That was all money. Like, I actually loved that shit. I thought this was well done. They made this kind of like a whole new segment called WWE Investigations. Like, their serious take on storylines, I guess. I thought Byron Saxton did a great job, too. It was fun. This was another fun segment. I couldn't really take it super serious. It was like, but it was funny. What'd you think, Gilch?
Yeah, the same. It was funny. It was a little comedy there. But...
I thought it was like all comedy. How about you, Jay? What'd you see?
I'll tell you what I saw.
Because you love Johnny. You love Johnny.
I am seeing the downfall of Johnny freaking Gargano because of this ridiculous storyline. I don't know. This is going back into the Vince McMahon era. This is. I said to you guys, episode to episode, this guy was going to be the substitute for Cody. This is it. Number one babyface. This is it. With a storyline like this, which I hate the storyline, by the way, between Miz and Lumis and this all being paid for. I think that's just horrible, horrible storyline. But going back into Johnny Gargano, you put him in the mix in this storyline. And you're right, Savage. The Way, The Wedding, Indy Hartwell, Austin Theory, great television. But to put him in this ridiculous storyline just makes me feel like right now he will not be that number one babyface.
Well, I don't think it's going anywhere in a positive direction for anybody. I don't see how this is going to make anybody look better.
Why include him? Why have him in? What? Because Lumis? You telling me Lumis and Miz couldn't do this themselves? Got to bring Gargano now? It looks silly. It looks ridiculous.
There's got to be a bigger story here, and we're just not seeing it yet. I feel like if this is just the story and there's nobody else involved, no new faction going to be created, this has to be leading to something big, I think. But if it's not, then it's stupid. It's real stupid, actually, if it doesn't lead to anything.
Broke my heart.
The phone call went a little bit like this between The Miz and Dexter Lumis. You know you were a little snug with that sleeper hold, but I actually think this is working. Like, people are actually buying it. So let's try something new next Monday. Here's half and I'll pay you the rest once it's all done. Don't look at me like that. Take the money and keep your mouth shut. Oh yeah, that shouldn't be an issue. Am I right? Ha ha. Byron Saxton looks confused. He calls The Miz a celebrity wannabe, an attention hog, a fabricator of lies, a fake stalkery. The Miz clearly is in on it. We see hostility. Is this a hoax? It was all a con. Why, Miz? Why? Pay this man his money. All right. I don't know where this storyline's going. I guess we're going to have to wait and see as the saga between Johnny Gargano, The Miz, and Dexter Lumis continues. But here on Wrestling with Savage, we're going to get into Crown Jewel. You're going to have the OC versus the Judgment Day. You're going to have Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a steel cage match. You're going to have the Usos put up the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships of the world against Butch and Rich Holland. Could we see new tag team champions? They've certainly had the push lately, and they've been looking great in the ring, and we all love Pete Dunne. Could it be time? And why are they saying Butch? I thought they went back to Pete Dunne. He's staying Butch? Fuck. He's staying Butch, guys. He's staying Butch. Braun Strowman versus Omos. And Bray Wyatt will be live this Saturday at the Crown Jewel. And also, don't forget, Roman Reigns is taking on Logan Paul. And Logan Paul apparently has steel plates in his hand. And that's what The Miz was trying to tell Roman early. He's like, listen, he's going to knock you out, man. He can knock you out, man. Logan Paul ain't knocking out shit. Logan Paul's probably going to catch him with a one shot. Roman's going to kick. Roman's gonna win. End of story.
You know, I hated that his brother won Saturday night because I just wanted him to lose. So
you wanted him to lose?
Just get shitted on. So he could just get
Silva did catch him with a couple of shots. It wasn't a bad fight.
It was entertaining.
He's calling out big boys right now, though. He said he wants Canelo. He said he wants Nate Diaz. I feel like Nate Diaz would whoop his ass, maybe.
He did smack one of his dudes.
Nate Diaz is fucking the craziest fucking guy in the history of the UFC. I've seen a lot of videos.
He slapped one of his entourage.
Yeah, because Nate Diaz don't give a fuck. That's why. He's fucking crazy. Nate Diaz is a self-made millionaire. If it wasn't for Nate Diaz and his personality, he wouldn't be where he is today. He took advantage of an opportunity after a win. He talked hella shit. Next thing you know, he's a fucking superstar. Next thing you know, he goes from making $5,000, $15,000 a fight. Now he's making millions a fight. You know what I mean? Self-made millionaire. Nate Diaz, big fucking...
He's a free man right now.
Yeah, big shout out to him, man. Also, women's championship, last women's standing match, Bianca Belair versus Bayley at the Crown Jewel. I feel like this is interesting match now. I'm more intrigued in this match, obviously, because of the way the main event ended tonight. And we'll get into the main event in a moment. And, of course, we'll get back into Bayley and Bianca. Because all of this is to build up that match between Bayley and Bianca. And we have an interesting match. Tag Team Women's Championship match for the main event. Alexa Bliss and Asuka versus Dakota Kai and Io Sky in what was, in my opinion, a fun match that brought back Alexa Bliss to the main stage of the WWE Women's Division, making her look like a complete package again. Alexa of old, ass kicker of old, gonna get the win, gonna become the new champion, gonna hold up the gold, and look absolutely incredible doing it. No stupid puppet, no dumb gimmick, just business. Comes down to the ring, kicks ass, has a great match, a bunch of false finishes. I actually thought the women were hitting a lot more of their spots than they were the last couple of weeks. I was actually more impressed tonight with Dakota Kai and Io Sky losing than I've ever been impressed with them when they were winning. They actually did a good job tonight. They sold for Asuka. They sold for Alexa. They took some good bumps. They took some good shots. Everything was looking, I'm not going to say stiff, but it was looking just about right. The shots that connected. Obviously, Jay, you might point out that a shot or two might have missed here or there. But overall, the match had a rough feel to it. It felt like it was a hard-hitting match that meant something. And, of course, we get new champions at the end, which wasn't really a shock to me. Because the way Asuka and Alexa were being presented throughout the night, I was like, and we haven't seen them in a while. I was like, this is the end. This is the end of Damage Control. Maybe is this the end of Damage Control? That's my question now. Is this going to lead to Bianca just shitting on Bayley, and then that storyline's done, Damage Control's done, they all get repackaged, or do we throw a wrench in the mix and cause some controversy and keep Damage Control relevant with Bayley being able to pick up the win over Bianca, and then maybe she dumps them naturally, saying, look, I won my match, but you losers couldn't even win yours. And then thus maybe putting over Dakota and Io as baby faces, and then Bayley just takes all that heat, that Damage Control. Everybody hates Damage Control, and they take all that hate and just wrap it into Bayley as the new women's champion. What do you think, Jay?
I think that this is a shame that the WWE Women's Tag Team titles is a big fucking joke. That's what I think. This match didn't deliver to me whatsoever. I
knew you were going to say. I'm giving it a thumbs up. Gets a thumbs up from me.
I told you earlier on the show, it makes no fucking sense that these girls just suddenly come back. Horrible comeback, by the way. I didn't like the surprise. They come back, and all of a sudden they take the titles from Dakota Kai and Io Sky, who you're trying to push, which just made it to the main roster, yada, yada, yada. I didn't like it. I don't think Bliss comes out strong to me, or Asuka. I'm not feeling them. I'm sorry. It doesn't work. Don't even get me started with Dakota Kai's movesets with a scorpion kick. I thought that was the most ridiculous thing I ever heard.
It actually looked like it fucking connected, though. It actually looked like it connected.
Yeah, but come on.
It is a little ridiculous. It looks like a video game move.
A scorpion kick, and the girl just falls right on her belly. Like, come on, man. Really? Like, it's not working for me here. It's just a shame that they treat the tag titles like a joke. I mean, you have two women that just came back. They weren't even injured. They were just off TV. There's no storylines. They come back and they become WWE Women Tag Team titles. Now you're going to have them fight Damage Control again. We're going to see the same program. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. I would like to see something new, and unfortunately we're not, because let's face it, there's not enough women tag team, period.
Well, you want to see something new? This is it. This is their way to get out of this, because it's a shit show. Nobody likes it. It hasn't gone over. They're not selling merch. They're probably not even making merch for them because there's no demand for it. No one's running to the store saying, hey, I need my Damage Control shirt.
That's my point. And you could give it to Asuka and Bliss or whoever, and it still be the same.
Okay. How about you, Gilch? You giving this shit a thumbs up 10 tonight?
Yeah, I mean,
and Raw in general, do you give thumbs up for night?
Thumbs up. I hate this whole Damage Control nonsense, but to say Alexa didn't come off strong, I thought she looked phenomenal.
I thought she looked great tonight. Absolutely.
She looked strong.
Okay.
Even her finisher, which is usually a joke, where she does like a little half twist, was phenomenal tonight. She almost did a full flat 360.
What about the double knees? That was horrible. That was so slow that it made Emma look strong.
I mean, look, if anybody messed up tonight the most, it was probably Asuka, because she missed a couple of her shots when she was doing that string of melee shots. Well, she missed pretty bad tonight, but she made up for it with that code breaker kind of. That code breaker looked okay. At the end, like Gilch said, Alexa looked fucking great. We got new tag team champs. Damage Control is on their fucking way out, and I feel like Bayley's gonna pull an upset this Saturday and beat Bianca Belair, and they're going to try to turn Dakota and Sky babyface and see if that works. And if it doesn't work, they're getting fired. They're going to be on the list. That's what I say.
I just think listen, my whole point, just to end this conversation, my whole point of why I say they treat the women's tag titles like a fucking joke is because look what happened tonight during the main event. You're watching a match, you say you enjoyed it. How can you enjoy something when for the last 3 to 5 minutes, not of the match, but towards the end, all the attention was away from the match and we just saw Belair and Bayley? Are you kidding me? Hello, we're watching the match. 3 to 5 minutes, we would just focus on that. And you said it, they're trying to sell the match, but how can we take the tag title seriously if you're showing us that and then going back to the match? What happened in the 3 to 5?
I don't know. I had fun with the match, man. I'm just happy they got the belts off these two. I didn't like the segments. I didn't like the promos. I didn't like any of it. So the fact that Alexa Bliss comes back, I'm an Alexa Bliss fan when she doesn't have a fucking puppet and a stupid gimmick, and she's actually business picking up wins. That's true, but she wasn't here tonight, though, and she has a title around her fucking waist right now at the end of the night. So, yeah, Alexa Bliss made it. And you said a few weeks ago you wanted to see Alexa Bliss of old. Strong, winning. I wanted, the serious Alexa.
Is, though. But a singles.
Why? We need new champs, man. They need new storylines. This could lead to...
We need singles.
I think this is going to lead to Toxic Attraction. I think this is going to lead to Gigi Dolan and JC Jane coming to fucking Raw and taking these titles off Asuka and this girl at WrestleMania.
Savage, if I had these two women as a singles run, I just bought myself time to set up a big match between Belair and Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. I just bought myself 3-4 months time. Just using Asuka in one program and then switch to Bliss.
There's a lot that's going to happen from here to WrestleMania, and there's so much going on in the world of wrestling right now between AEW, between NXT, WWE. Last week, SmackDown with a shocker, Gilch, fucking just putting on the best 2-hour program on TV last week.
Must say,
absolutely wild. This week SmackDown's going to be taped because they can't do it live because they're going to be on a long flight heading out to Crown Jewel. The results are out there. I'm not going to give them to you. I don't want to do any spoilers, but if you're interested, they're on Google. You can find them very easily. AEW is coming up on Wednesday. Tomorrow night we're going to see some NXT. Me and Jay will be here covering that. Wednesday night we're coming back for AEW. I believe Thomas Babiak is going to be here again. I think he's going to join the regular crew for the AEW show, which is fantastic. I'm talking to a lot of different wrestlers right now. I'm close to maybe locking in Dr. Cool on the show in the next couple of weeks. He just finished his midterms. So that's why he's been very busy. Obviously, tonight, He's young. It's Halloween.
He was on the Nation's Corner.
He was, yeah. I saw that episode.
I did catch that.
Did you guys catch the Nation's Corner on Saturday? I actually joined their show on Saturday because they only go live once a week.
I had family over, but I was watching a little bit in the beginning. Yeah, they're long for a long time.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I've been watching it because and the cool thing about them is it's just like a 1 hour show. I think this Saturday the guy said they went over a couple of minutes.
I like the fact.
But they get a lot of shit in 1 hour, man.
I like the fact how they were using all Usi as all their names, so I think that was pretty cool touch.
Yeah, you can tell that they're big time wrestling fans. They love it, and I gotta say, Mongrovian Mike is a different person on the Nation's Corner. He's very calm.
Yeah, shout out to Mike, shout out to Front Row, shout out to Deb, shout out to Tony, shout out to all of them.
Because I think he's so used to working with them, he has a chemistry with them. So when he came down here with us, he could be like, all out. Like, because he was crazy when he was on here with Wrestling with Savage. Shout out to Mike for bringing the energy today on Busted Open. He brought the energy when he was here on Raw. And we'll have Mongrovian Mike back on here to say his piece. That guy's an absolute savage as well, so he gets a big shout out. I was happy to hear.
I gotta hear that call.
Busted Open tonight. Yeah, he was going in. He had a great Iron Sheik impression. So Gilch, you got the giant LaGreca head, huh?
Yeah, it's coming tomorrow.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah,
I
that's on my list. The onesie's on my list. T-shirt, sweatshirt. I'm probably gonna drop a couple of $100 on there and get some cool Busted Open merch and just continue to show my support by calling in and, giving my take whenever Dave LaGreca or Mark Henry or Bully Ray or Tommy Dreamer is nice enough to let me give it.
You know the way everyone's making a chapter? So they're like, oh, this is the South Jersey chapter. This is the whatever chapter. We should just create the Savage chapter.
The Savage chapter. Yeah, I like that. I might just start saying this is Savage from Parts Unknown. The guy tomorrow I'm going to call up because I'm going to be on the road. That's why I love this show, because I'm on the road and I have this show. I have this show in my car, and then when I leave my car, I have it in my ear. And I don't miss it. Even if I'm doing stuff with patients and I'm taking care of business, I still hear it. I know what's going on. And I always try to look for my opportunities to call in at the perfect time. And, if they have enough time, because sometimes they get busy. Sometimes, a lot of callers, call and they don't get to get on the show sometimes because they have like 2 or 3 guests on. They have wrestlers on. They got to get their commercials on. They got to talk about Raw or NXT. It's a lot. And you think 3 hours is a long time, and it's really not. I mean, we're just talking about Monday Night Raw and Halloween. We're still here for an hour and a half, And if you guys want, I can end the show whenever. I don't mind. I'm good to go. I slept pretty good. I got a nice nap today. Took a Halloween nap after we got rid of the trick-or-treating thing. My family, we did first time, we went to a trunk-or-treating. I didn't even know this was a thing.
It's the new rage now, bro.
The trunk-or-treating. So they had a big Whitestone trunk-or-treating thing over here, sponsored by the church, and a nice family invited us to come. And my son was going crazy looking at all these costumes and people, and it was cool. It's fast. You get in there, you get your candy, you say your hellos, you chill a little bit, and then you leave. You don't have to walk blocks and blocks and blocks. You're in one area, and you're getting a bunch of candy instantly.
Speaking of monsters and, horror-ish, I finished House of Dragon.
Nice.
That was pretty savage, the baby.
Sick ending, yeah. Absolutely
and
sick
at the
ending.
end, fucking kid just got literally...
The worst part about all that is that we got to wait till 2024 to see anything else.
It's going to be fucking forever. Unbelievable.
I got to say, I love trick-or-treating with a toddler, basically, because, you're not going to give them any of the candy. So, yeah, I ate a lot of candy today. Very bad. I want to ask your opinion. If you're taking your kids somewhere for trick-or-treating, and somebody tries to give your kid, a carrot, or, a bag of apple slices, what do you think about that?
If I take it, I say thank you, and then I just pull it out of the bag later,
It just goes straight in the trash, right?
Inspect it, I guess. Ask you want to eat it. What kid's going to possibly eat that with all that candy there?
I want to just, send Gunther to these people's homes to chop the shit out of them, because these kids, they don't get to go out all the time and just get loads of bags of candy. Let the kids have their fun. Give them their fucking candy. Stop trying to give them vegan snacks and chips and this and that. Just like Dave LaGreca said, these people are all fucking assholes.
I remember growing up as a kid, and like the Italian grandmothers in Brooklyn for Halloween would give you like a couple pennies or something like that, or a dime.
That's what they were actually saying on the show today. That's what Dave LaGreca said. He said people give me pennies.
Yep.
When I was a kid.
Oh wow.
Mark Henry was like, I never had anyone give me a penny. That's funny. How about you guys? Have any Halloween stories you want to share when you were kids? Any crazy moments? Any hijinks? What's the best prank you ever did? Did you ever egg anybody's house? Toilet paper?
Never got arrested on a Halloween.
Never got. Last year I got hit with eggs while I was doing 60 on the Van Wyck Expressway, and I got scared. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I thought somebody was shooting at me, and it's just like these crazy kids that are throwing eggs at my car. Thank God I had the windows closed.
That's funny.
That's not funny. I was terrified.
It's great. Like everyone used to win, like so excited for Halloween to egg and this and that. But like when we were bored, we used to just drive around and shoot paintballs at people in the neighborhood. So,
that's even worse. Jesus Christ. I mean, I've definitely done some shit with eggs. I mean, I was wild in my teenage years. Me and a friend that will rename unnamed would drive around and launch eggs out the window at people in the street. Like we'd see like friends hanging out in the corner, and like I'd be out the window, and I would scream profanities at them that I'm not going to repeat here, and then hit them in the head with a fucking egg, and drive and get out of there. And we would egg cars. We used to break windows. We were fucking nuts, man. I mean, I don't know what the fuck was wrong with us as kids. Jay, did you ever witness what was the craziest shit you've ever seen me do, Jay? Because you were there for a lot of moments. What stands out to you? What's the craziest shit you've ever seen me... No, in general. What's the craziest thing you've ever seen me do in general?
That you can talk about on the air.
Yeah, that you can talk about on the air.
I mean, I wasn't there, but you'd be saying it over and over and over. How Triple H returned in MSG and you fucking knocked somebody down and shit. Like, what the fuck? And then security had to fucking grab your ass and drag your ass out.
Nothing stands out with you.
Crazy. I wasn't.
But you personally, I'm talking about you being there, though. What's the craziest shit you've ever witnessed live? Because there's a lot. Unless you're just that toasted, man, it's just not coming. Because there's no way. I've done, like, an insane amount of shit over the years.
Yeah, I think that was crazy. I can't think off the top of that crazy.
So what's the craziest thing you've ever done for Halloween?
Maybe I am toasted.
I think he's toasted, Gilch.
Halloween?
Toasted. Sure. Yeah.
I don't know, man. You did a lot of crazy shit at the Halloween store, I remember. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He used to abuse the shit out of that fucking guy, man.
Who?
Always that freaking, he used to abuse the shit out of that fucking guy, man. I felt sorry for that dude. You're like, give me my shit, you fucking piece of shit. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, I got all you fuckers jobs. I became a Gilch, I became a manager of a Halloween store at 14 years old.
Yeah.
What kind of store?
A Halloween store.
And it's funny. You know what the funny part about that? That you abused this guy, you got him a job, and he literally lived like right across the street.
Yeah, it's all good. I got you a job too. You were giving out flyers.
Yeah, I know.
And we used to go throw the flyers away. It was fucked up.
Yeah.
We gave out some. I gave out some, but that guy would abuse me. Gilch, that guy paid me $25 an hour to wear a pussy hat. It was a big giant hat that made your head look like a vagina with hair coming out of it, like a big clit. And he's like, I'll pay you $25 an hour to walk up and down Steinway Street with us. I said, okay, how many hours can I do it? He said 4. 4 hours.
Oh,
I was like, yeah. Because I was like, I was about to do it like for the rest of Halloween. What are you, fucking nuts?
I was ready to do it for the next year.
I would have did it till this day. Well, that's not true. I make more than $25 an hour now, thank God. But good God, man. Good God.
That in high school we had that class. I don't know what class.
Oh yeah, tell kids about that. That was insane what I used to do.
Oh, was that art or English?
Art class. That was art class.
Art class. Yeah, man, that shit was crazy. This guy was like a full moon. You just see him like once every 3 months and shit. Comes in and he's like talking about wrestling. Yeah, man, Ross, fucking crazy. You fucking kidding me, man?
Actually, Jay, I came every Tuesday, Jay.
This guy was hustling games in front of teachers and shit. They're trying to teach, like, hey, like, yeah, man, I got that. Yeah, come here. What? Nobody cares what you talking about. Shut up. What? You
can't say like, you can't talk like that. You gotta get out of here. I don't need to be here. I don't even come here.
You just really came here just to see me and talk about wrestling. You're like, yeah, yeah. If you want to come over and watch SmackDown, yeah, man, I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta go. What's going on? Like,
Yo.
yeah, I'm out. I'll see you next week. I'll see you in my house. All right.
Yo, I used to show up to school whenever the fuck I wanted to. I would go to any class. Gilch, I would walk into other people's classrooms and just start selling games in the middle of somebody's class. Like the teacher has a full thing on the board, and I would just start selling games. Kids would be pulling out money. The teacher's like talking to me, like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And I'm just like ignoring them. I'm like, "All right, you gotta give me 25. Yo, you owe me 10. This and that." And then they call security, and like I would wait until the phone would start ringing, and then I would hang up. I would go and click on it. And they'd be like, "Yo, what are you doing?" I'm like, "No, what are you doing? I'm trying to sell some games. If you shut the fuck up, I'll be out of here in 2 minutes. Okay? If you shut the fuck up, this transaction will be over." And then I remember one time I was having lunch. You remember back in the day in the school staircases, there used to be those big radiators that had the fences over them in the hallways. So, it wasn't cold. It wasn't hot yet. It was like fall or something, so they weren't putting them on. So I went and I had my dinner. All right, I was having dinner for lunch, basically. Big souvlaki platter. I had like 3 or 4 souvlakis, bread, salad, French fries, tzatziki, pita bread. I had like 4 fucking cans of Coke, all lined up on the whole fucking thing, right? The dean of the school, who at the time, he looked like Hulk Hogan with brown hair and a brown mustache. Forget his name. Jay probably might remember his name, the dean of Bryant. And he comes into the hallway and he's like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing?" He's like, "What class are you in? Where are you supposed to be right now?"
I know what you're talking about.
And I'm like, "What do you mean, where am I supposed to be? I'm not supposed to be anywhere right now. I'm supposed to be right here. I'm having lunch." He's like, "What do you mean you're having lunch? What the fuck are you doing?" He's like, "Let me see your schedule." Like, "I don't have a schedule." He's like, "What do you mean you don't have a schedule?" I was like, "I don't have a schedule. I don't know what my schedule is. I haven't known what my schedule is in a long time. I just show up, and I hang out sometimes. Sometimes I go to this class. Sometimes I go to that class." And he's like, "Oh, that's it. Come with me. We got to go to the office. We're going to call your mother." I said, "Oh, there's no need for that. Let me call her right now. Hold on." I pull out my cell phone. I call my mom. I'm like, "Mom, can you tell this guy that, I don't give a fuck about anything and neither do you?" So he can leave me the fuck alone. And my mom gets on the phone with him, basically tells him to shut the fuck up. And he's like, "Good luck dealing with my son, because I can't." That was that. Couldn't do anything.
Crazy.
They had a school play once, Gilch, and I interrupted the school play. I went on the stage and I just stone cold stunned the kid.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Hit the stone cold stunner. I hit somebody with a chop. I screamed, "Woo!" And then I just jumped off and ran out the side exit. And I don't think I came back to school for like 2 weeks.
You literally just came just to talk about wrestling, man.
No, and sell games.
Yeah.
And sell games.
Yeah. I remember we used to just have conversations. Next thing you know, class is over.
That's why I used to come to school on Tuesdays for sure that year because I enjoyed coming to the class and talking about Raw.
Yeah, then you vanished.
Got a collectible in the mail today.
Oh yeah, you did show us Kurt Angle, correct?
Yes, the Kurt Angle
from the WWE shop.
Kurt Angle signed, and I also got from WWE shop a poster of the Brett Bulldog match from SummerSlam.
Oh yeah, I saw the picture of that. That's a nice touch. That's a nice touch.
That's like probably my favorite.
How's your room coming together, man? We haven't seen any updates.
Yeah, I got my new desk. I just got to bring up my second computer from the basement. And
nice.
I'm waiting for tomorrow. I'm getting a piece from IKEA for belt storage. So I want to put it together and put it in my room so I can visualize if it's gonna be big enough or not. Then so.
Yeah, it's the worst when you have a picture in your head and then you actually get the thing and it's like it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
With what you have. Like right now with my setup, it's very hard to do anything drastic. If I want to add anything significant, I got to do a lot of work. I got to move a whole section or fucking. So that's why I don't know what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to start putting things in the fucking ceiling and then I don't know. I'm running out of space, man.
Yep.
And this is sad because I remember going over someone's house when I was a kid and it was a friend of a friend. I was selling them some games and shit. He's a grown-ass man at the time. I'm a 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid selling games, whatever. And he's a grown-ass man. He's 35, 40 years old maybe at the time. Like my age now. And you go to this guy's house, he's got a kid. His kid's a little older, though, And he got a wife. And, this guy, the way my game room is, his whole house is like this. The living room, the bathroom has figures in it. The hallways, like there isn't 1 inch of wall in this guy's house that isn't covered by like some figure. And this guy still goes hard to this day. He's actually a DJ. His name's DJ Terry. Jay probably knows him from Steinway Street. Very old guy, big guy, over the top. He was loud, very crazy. He's like insane. Like if you start talking to him, like that's it. He had talked for like 2 hours.
I can't recall his face, but he sounds familiar.
If you see him, you'll know who he is. Anyway, now look at me. Now I'm basically that guy. I'm collecting figures. They're on my wall.
That's cool, man.
I was talking shit about this guy when I was like 16, and then I literally have turned into this. Well, I'm not as bad as him because there's nothing in my living room because my wife would probably kill me. Literally. I would be dead. There would be no more Wrestling with Savage. It would be Wrestling with Jay and Gilch. If I drop dead tomorrow, are you guys keeping this show running?
Nobody watches anything.
Is Dave coming back?
To do a dolo.
Yo, where's Dave? Does Dave even watch our show anymore? Dave's like a complete stranger now. Where's Dave?
Well, I heard he wanted to be on the last episode. With,
yeah, I heard that a couple of times.
Thomas.
I think we got to start talking shit to him. But now watch, he's gonna want to come back tomorrow, and then we're gonna have 5 people on for AEW. That's gonna be terrible.
Maybe Wednesday he want to come on.
How do you think 5 people would be too much?
Nah,
it will work.
It will work. Just can't cut each other off. You know?
We just have to pray that we never see Cora Jade or Roxanne Perez, because then you just won't shut the fuck up, and that's the end of the show.
Don't even get me started. First of all, man, let's talk about that match between Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade right now. Halloween Havoc. I don't know. I'm not get into it.
Let's not get into it. Anyway, that's the end of Monday Night Raw, and this is the end of Wrestling with Savage. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will see you here tomorrow night for NXT, and I'm sure we'll see Gilch again on Wednesday night.
Oh, yeah.
For Dynamite, because it's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. It's time for Wrestling with Savage. Everybody have a good night. God bless. We'll see you, and hopefully you had a safe and happy Halloween, man. Make sure you drop some comments. Follow us on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify. And I also want to give you guys one update. I'm going to have a new guest on the show next week. Strongman Stories. It's a guy that I met on TikTok. He's got over 300,000 followers. And he's like one of these strongman guys who goes to all the strongman competitions. He bends iron. He bends metal. He bends basically does all the shit that Mark Henry could do. He goes all over the country and performs for people. And he's a big lover of Wrestling with Savage on TikTok. He loves the energy. He loves the content. He loves the shows. And he's a lover of professional wrestling. So it's going to be awesome to have him on next week. More details to come. And yeah, everybody have a good night. Happy Halloween, man. Take care.
Are listening to Wrestling with Savage, the best podcast in the history of podcasts. Max Caster, your future AEW champion. Fucking man. Yeah.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, proud say you live as a champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. Smackdown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. What?
Wrestling with Savage begins now.